the only worse government I can think of in living memory than the SNP in Scotland over the last 3 or 4 years is the Tories at Westminster. I mean, they've been competing.
Quite a low bar.
The pair of them have been competing to be the two worst governments in history, and they've both paid a very, very heavy price. So the SNP are paying the price.
Were they bad, but in different ways? Tell me the top three things you think that went wrong under Nicola Sturgeon, and of course, we got another 5 leaders since then.
Well, when Nicola Sturgeon, people are asking the questions tonight, is it about police investigations and tents and charges and all the rest of it? No. What it's about is the kamikaze policy of self-identification, the ludicrous idea that anybody can nominate their sex at a whim, which of course came to its disgraceful denouement when they couldn't explain why a male rapist should be put into a female prison. This sort of stuff, it doesn't go down well with anybody. The number of people that support that nonsense in Scotland is in single figures.
Yeah.
But there's also things like bottle schemes, there's ferries that haven't been built, there's wastage of hundreds of millions of pounds here and there in a time of austerity. The SNP built their position on not just on the cause of independence, but on competence in government. So back in 2014, when we lost narrowly an independence referendum, not one person says, you can't run the Scottish Parliament, you shouldn't be independent.
Yeah.
It wasn't even an issue. Now, of course, they've undermined the competence in government, which was one of the key pillars of moving forward.
And of course, one of the key things also, they were going to be dealing with education. We've seen a world-class education system in Scotland basically completely, absolutely undermined. That is no longer the case, falling way behind England, falling way behind many other countries. How much do you put that down to Nicola Sturgeon, to Humza Yousaf? John Swinney has only been in for a short period of time this time round.
Well, I think it's entirely Nicola's legacy. It was a poisoned legacy. The mistake that Humza Yousaf made, and then John Swinney over the last couple of months, is instead of dramatically departing from it, instead of saying, no, this was a bunch of rubbish, we're really sorry, we're going to try and do better, let's have a new policy for a new leader, they sort of slid away from controversial aspects one by one so that nobody noticed. So instead of taking the opportunity that a new leader should to set out their own direction, they've gone for continuity. Yeah. And as someone once famously said, in Scottish politics, continuity doesn't cut it, and now it's decimated the Scottish National Party.